Hey guys, and welcome to the show Maraha and back to fitness number 24. So the big thing this week would have been for me my county 10k road race, which was on Friday night, and it went exactly to plan. I had talked about my pre-race trot out in the ENDORPHIN Pros to give me a good idea of what to expect and to kind of target a time, and as you can see here, I was pretty accurate. So kind of average there over the 3 miles at just over 6-minute mile pace. So that's what I'm going to try and target in the race. I'm not going to try and run sub 6-minute miles at any stage in the race. Possibly if it's there at the end, yeah, but the race is going to be aiming for around 6:10 average pace, and the course is pretty flat. There is one little downhill and uphill section, so that kind of section around there you're going to maybe be a little bit faster on one part and a little bit slower on the other part because of that up and down. But I'd still like to try and be pretty average there around the 6:10. Now if I hit 6:10 I'd be absolutely delighted. My target really is to break 39, so at under 39 would be absolutely fantastic. 6:10 is about 38, 15, 38, 20, something like that. I'd have to just work it out, but I think that's what it is. Hi guys, it's race day and it is absolutely scorching. It's like 73 degrees Fahrenheit, just about 22, 23 degrees Celsius. I have about a 2-hour drive ahead of me, so it's time to get going. Talk to you later. Here in one piece anyway, it says 25 degrees on the car, lads. Uh-oh. Boom. There you go, guys. Woo. Drowned it. Time to change the top and have a cool down. Everything went exactly to plan. Talk about it later. First today, let's talk about the long slow run today. So I met up with my friend Luke and we went up to the Phoenix Park. And it was absolutely glorious. As you'll see here, it was on the acres, beautiful. So this is the acres in the Phoenix Park. If you're not familiar with it, it's just a load of playing fields. It's perfectly flat. The ground is fantastic to run on. You might come across the deer there the odd time, but it's where everyone likes to run in the Pheno. So as you see there as well, we had a bit of company from the local deer herd. Those guys having a bit of spot of lunch on the acres and enjoying the weather. Running buddies, huh? So we knocked out like 12.5 miles, and it did show you 2 miles of a steady effort as well. The legs are absolutely dead after the race Friday night, like, so I just went with the flow, just by getting the heart rate up. I did about 12.5, 12.6 miles, something like that, at an average pace of something like 7:35. Garmin is a bit bananas, as I've pointed out before, so I'm not really reading into that too much. Like, I just know I was out there for the best part of an hour and 40 minutes today, and had a really enjoyable run. I chat with my friend and enjoyed the sun, enjoyed the shade, enjoyed the breeze. It's just great to be out there. Now, to get back to the race on Friday night, so I had predicted or hoped for a 6:10 pace, which would have gave me 38:15, and in the results I'm 38:16, and on my watch I'm 38:15, so I'm not going to argue over a second. But to be able to go out and do a 3x mile in the pros and kind of judge off that what kind of efforts I could sustain in the race, it was a really satisfying experience. The race for myself was very satisfying in that it was a real race, racing guys who have been racing for years. It's that thing where you go by someone and they're like a bad smell, they come back to you and you're doing the same to other guys, and you get that real racing buzz. For the first 3 miles of the race, first half of the race, I was basically running with 3 other guys from my club. And we hit the halfway mark and there was a water station there. Now it was extremely hot, but I mean, like, it's 10k, so I'm thinking to myself, I should be hydrated enough for 10k, no matter, even if it's like 27, 28 degrees. So as everyone took the opportunity to take some water, I always take the opportunity to put in a little spurt, and to take advantage of them slowing down a small bit, I put in a little bit of effort to break away from them. And into the 4th mile of the race, that group broke up, and one of the guys came with me, and we had a little to and fro for a while, and then I concentrated on the people that were well up the road ahead of us. So I passed about 5 or 6 people in the second half of the race. Had a real battle with 1 or 2 guys there on the run into the finish. As you can see from this picture, this is with about 300 or 400 meters to go. I was looking to heaven for inspiration, but I was able to dig in and really get a strong finish. So the paces I hit in the race are pretty much even. The 6th mile was a little bit slower. I think it was 6:19. But other than that, I was hitting in around the 6:10 average that I was looking for. Now the 1st mile was 6 minutes. That's to be expected. It's the 1st mile of the race. Everyone is there together. There's a rhythm going on, so you will tend to run a little bit faster, but I was really happy I didn't run too fast, because my plan was to hold that little bit back on the main road on the way back in when the surface is really good, where I could make a little effort. And there's one little interesting bit of feedback I'm going to give you from the shoe, how it worked really well for me in the race. So you get that normal thing with this shoe, that if you settle into it and let the technology in the shoe work, it really helps you. It really protects you from the impact, but it bounces you along, gets you up those hills nice and quickly, encourages you off your toe down the hills, all that good stuff. But in the 5th mile, when I had a couple of guys that I was battling against, I just ever so slightly shortened my stride, so I would strike more here in the shoe rather than here. The idea was to see if I could get a bit more bounce out of the shoe, because you have that higher stack height here, and lo and behold, just shortened the stride slightly and got that little bit of pace that pulled me away from a couple of runners. That was really interesting feedback for me. It's something that this shoe, or this range of shoes, it's given you, especially late in a race like that. Just slightly altering my cadence, shorten my stride length and up my cadence, and it just took me away from a couple of guys and gave me that little bit of breathing space to hold them off at the finish. Really happy with how the shoe performed in the race. Extremely comfortable, absolutely no issues at all. The only thing I would say, on the back road, on the really old road, there's loads of like dips and grooves and potholes that have been filled in and not evenly and stuff. So I've said it before and I'll say it again, when you're not on good surface, the shoes tend to, not that they don't work well, but you'll notice the difference when you get onto a good bit of tarmac where it's pretty even and smooth, and it works much better. You just kind of have to mind yourself a little bit more on that uneven surface because of the stack height. Now they're not as bad, for me they're not as bad as the Nikes, like being up on stilts. Like they're nowhere near, I didn't like that feeling at all in the Nikes when I had them before. But with this guy, I'm secure enough, I've no complaints. It's doing what it says on the tin. It's giving me that extra bit. I definitely think it's like worth that 10 seconds a mile. So I ran 38:15. My PB for 10k is 34:50. I'm a mile and a half off that, maybe 2 miles. But I'm going to keep working away. I'm going to keep training away, training smart, not taking too many chunks at a time. Just keep it simple, do the good stuff, take the pain in training, and just tip away at the races. And hopefully come the end of the summer, I'll be getting closer and closer to peak fitness and running more races in these guys, and you never know, might get close back down to that 34:50 mark again. That's like, I'm going back 5 years when I was running that pace. I was 5 years younger. But hopefully these guys will roll back the years for me. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Hope you found that interesting. Any feedback yourselves down in the comments, any questions down in the comments. Like, share and subscribe. So thanks very much, take care, and we'll see you soon.